Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Lindsey Coble.
Dr. Noelle Crosby, and we are the Sound Sisters. And this is the Hearing Diaries. Today, we're just going to have a brief show about ADA. Lindsay just came back from ADA. She was able to go to Lobby Day and also she was at the meeting, and she's going to just share a little bit about her experience with both things.
I would love to talk about Lobby Day. That was my second time lobbying. So I actually went to Washington, D.C. like 10 years ago when I was a student and did
Oh, I
Lobby
love that
Day.
you did that as a
Yeah,
student.
I feel like as a student it was such a blur. You're just learning and kind of going
I
through the
think I would have been
motions.
so scared to do it as a student.
Yeah, I was with a great group. I was with Alex Tarvin. I was with just a really good group of kind of mentors as a student. And so I remember that. But essentially what we were doing is they broke us up into small groups. So there were over 200 of us lobbying. They broke us
Right.
up into small groups of about 4 or 5 that
And
are in
was it
each group.
regional? It
Yeah, I
seemed
was
like
with
you were all
Indiana.
regional.
Yes, which was
Yeah,
awesome because I was with Indiana audiologists and a student from Indiana. And then they had our meetings set up with the House of Representatives and senators from our region. So we were having this like
yeah.
cohesive conversation that we understood each other and what we were going for. So it was awesome. Essentially, what we were talking about is the Maya bill. And my best explanation of what we were trying to do is to get audiologists recognized as practitioner status by Medicare Part B.
Right,
We are not looking to change our scope. But what we want to do with that practitioner status is to allow Medicare beneficiaries to have direct access to things that are already within our scope without a physician referral.
right.
The last time that bill was looked at was in 1960, is where the language comes from. And so it's really just outdated with how audiology has become a doctoring profession, how we're practicing right now. And so I like to say it's a kind of a common sense bill that
Right.
just needs recognized and updated. We had really great meetings. We had 4 meetings that day. And actually, I've had one of them. It was the meeting that we thought this did not go great. I had one of their, it was a local guy who works for Jim Banks, reached out and said, I would like to follow up on that conversation. So, as the
Oh,
conversation that we
lovely.
thought didn't go great, he reached out and wants to come talk to me further about what Maya is.
Oh,
So, yeah,
awesome.
I think we got some attention, and it seems so little in the things that are going on in the government right now, but it seemed to be common sense.
Right. And it seemed like everybody that I saw on Facebook, they were promoting it and talking about doing it. Everybody seemed to think it was a great response and that
Yes,
they really enjoyed the opportunity to try it.
yeah, it was really neat. And I think what's interesting is when you think, okay, we're meeting with Jim Banks, the office of Jim Banks, you're meeting with a 25-year-old
Right.
assistant, or yeah, I don't know what their exact title is, but then you kind of think like, oh gosh, does this kid care at all? It's like, no, that is what his career is to educate and learn. They asked really great questions, and then they are tasked with having something ready to present to the decision makers. And so
Right.
really you've got to get their attention. And so you've got to be relatable. I mean, we talked about think of your grandparents and their access to their local audiologist, and you try to
Yeah,
make it,
make it understand so they
yeah.
can think about it that way.
In Indiana, we talked a lot about kind of the access and how physicians, there's so few physicians in rural communities, or the wait time
Right.
to get into a physician. So having better access to audiologists is just so important. And yeah, it was actually really well received.
Yeah, I know I did one when they did the virtual one. I think it was
Mm,
2021 maybe,
hmm.
or COVID was COVID. It was around that time. And I was so excited about it. I thought I'd be, wouldn't know what to say and had it, but it was
Yes.
just so interesting. And that, like you said, the interest that they had in what we were
Yeah.
saying was really wonderful. I wish I could have gone this year, but I just timing didn't work out for me.
Yeah.
But I'm so glad there was such a good representation of us
What
there.
I think like for me being the president of the Indiana Academy, the IAC now, it can be so nerve-wracking thinking, who am I to go talk to these representatives and do they care what
Right,
I have to say? But that is the only way to make a change in our profession is to
yeah,
look back at these outdated bills and statutes and our scope of practice and whatever it is that we care about at the time. And so I think as like students or young audiologists, don't be intimidated by that. That is their job to listen to us to make changes for the better of their constituents. So I
Right,
think it was a
right.
really good for me to do it a second time, a little bit
Yeah.
older, a little bit more confident. And it was great. Yeah.
Well, good. Now tell us a little bit about just ADA, the meeting in general.
ADA, the meeting in general was well attended, I would say. I don't know how many people were actually there, but I just enjoy getting together with people from all over the
Oh, I know. I
country.
love
And
it.
so, old friends, friends with similar practices, friends with very different practices. One of my favorite sessions actually was they had, I think it was called like a dentist, an optometrist, a veterinarian, and an audiologist walk into a conference together. I think that was like the title. I wish I could have heard them speak for like 4 hours because they, all of these other specialties have been through the things that we've been through. They've been
Right.
through the world of managed care. They've been through the world of big conglomerates and people selling their business to the big corporations, the consolidation that's happening. They've been through, do I serve the masses and be low cost? Do I become a specialist and be more high end?
Yep, just like all
How
the
do I,
things we're going
all the
through.
things we're going through. The dentist was really, honestly, one of my biggest takeaways that I will share with the world. The dentist had such a good idea to make a short 5-minute video to send to all patients before they even come into your practice. Which I
Somebody
know
was
there are
telling me
some
about that.
audiologists doing it. I know there's some audiologists doing it.
Yes.
But what he said is, what better way to just kind of streamline who you are and who the practice is? That way patients come in so much more confident. Because
Yeah, and they
in
know
his,
you and they probably
yes,
more comfortable too, because they
comfortable,
know
confident, in
kind
his
of what
mind,
to
he said,
expect. And
yes,
yeah,
in his mind, he said, share pricing if you can, if it gets a little convoluted in some of our offices, but he said,
I'm going to
answer
do
the top
this.
three questions that
Yeah.
people ask. Who are you? What services do you offer? And what is your pricing? Because then people come in well educated, informed. He also said, like hearing aid technology tiers. So when they're sitting in front of you and for the first time ever, you're going into here's basic, mid range, and premium. And here's the different prices. And patients are just like, oh my gosh, I
Yeah.
had no idea I was going to have to make this thousands of dollars decision today. Where if you were to text them their appointment confirmation reminder with this little video, they could kind of settle that in and be a little more
Yes.
of an informed consumer before coming in. I thought that
Yeah.
is awesome.
Yep. I know a while back we were all talking about doing that in
Yeah,
Entheos anyways, and a lot of them did. And I kept saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do one of those. And I just
no.
never did. So I am going to make it a point
And
to
he
do
said
that.
a website called Loom,
Okay.
LOOM.com is really great. I haven't dove into it yet, but I'm
To make the
also
video on,
to
you
make the
mean, or something?
video. Yeah.
Okay,
hmm
great. Good
Yeah,
to
it's free.
know.
He said it's free. So
Okay.
that was one of my favorite parts. I mean, I always love walking through the vendors and
Yeah.
seeing what they have to offer. Some I fit all the brands of hearing aids, but some of the hearing aids I haven't fit yet. To see them in person, touch them, feel them, see the size. I always love doing that. My
Yeah.
friend and I, we were kind of interested in video otoscopes. So to see kind of how that technology has changed, and I always like seeing new companies when they come into the mix,
Yeah.
getting a look at that. Of course, the managed care plans were there.
They were. Okay.
Um, I'm trying to think of who else was there. All the equipment companies were there. So
Right.
it was really good showing, I would say, of the vendor side too, which is always nice to see their
Yes.
support for a profession.
And I know
Um,
they're a lot smaller at ADA versus AAA. It's usually
yes,
maybe one or two representatives, and they have a smaller table and they
yes,
have more time for you to really spend with them and talk to them. And yeah, I feel like
yeah,
it's a lot you get that more one-on-one time with them than you might
yes.
at AAA.
Yes. Another one of my favorite sessions was about marketing by Katie. Katie, I would butcher her last name, Katie A. I think she's from the
Okay.
Chicago
Oh, I
area.
know Katie. Yeah, she does
Yes.
Facebook marketing for
Yes.
people and physician mark. She's awesome. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I loved her session and I've seen her stuff on social media.
Yeah.
The one little nugget that I took away from her was, and it makes complete sense, physicians are so inundated with information right now. And so what she was saying is, do we really think physicians are going to read a white paper? When we take
Right.
them a white paper or we take them a whole one
On a
page
subject that they're not
information.
really that interested in,
Yeah. And
right?
so her whole point was, if you want to get the attention of a physician, give them one little nugget that is consumable for them to just see real quick, like fall risk, allow us
Right.
to reduce fall risk in your patients. Or did you know mild hearing loss can increase the risk of falls by 27%? Send your patients to us for a baseline hearing test.
Right.
Something so simple and short. And I love that. And it was kind of like, we're all diving into cognition, but she was like, that's a lot of information for them. Just give them the one nugget that you want them to know.
Yeah. And
So I
maybe do
love
a
that.
different nugget every month or
Yes.
something, or
Yes. I
yeah,
love
that's
that.
good advice. Yeah,
Um,
she has a program where she will do
and maybe
marketing
we
for
link
you.
it. Maybe we
Yeah.
link it below
Yeah,
because I
yeah.
really enjoyed her session. And then I know Kim Cavett did a course on Sunday. I left Saturday night, but her course was about the new billing codes. And
Yes.
just really, it was like to update on the billing codes, how to utilize them. And I know I had a friend attend, and she said that she was like, my eyes just got opened up by what Kim
Oh,
said, just in general of how to bill. And I know my audiology friends in Illinois, and so they have access to bill a lot of those codes, and she's in network with insurance. So I think, again, a continuing conversation of how are we going to adopt those codes and
yeah.
make
I
them
wonder if
work.
that session was recorded because I know they offered it
Think it
for
was
people.
recorded. I
Yeah.
think it was recorded, and Kim did mention that she's doing another one for ADA members in
Okay.
October, I
Oh,
believe.
good to
So
know. So everyone keep their
yeah,
eyes out for that if you want to
yeah,
be part of
hmm,
learning about that.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, thank
yeah.
you, Lindsay.
You're
I'm so sad I
welcome.
wasn't there this year, but I feel like I got a
Fine.
good update and
Yeah, it was
lots
fun.
of good
Good
info.
content. One of the things that I haven't mentioned yet is I attended the session about it was Alicia Spore's session about how Maryland expanded their scope of practice to
I
include
did hear about that
MRIs.
one too.
So that was
Yes.
a super. There was a radiologist who was also in attendance, and they were talking about kind of their partnership and
Right.
how and when they order MRIs and how to speak to their patients. And so I think those type of things, state by state, we'll see them popping up as our scope
Yeah.
kind of expands. And so
Right.
that was eye-opening too, just to see as a state what the possibilities are.
Yep. And I heard from that it's a way of getting patients seen a lot sooner,
Yes,
which is
yes,
really can be really important when you don't have like I don't even have an ENT in my town. I do have one
yes,
in neighboring towns,
yeah,
but and then getting an appointment with them,
yeah,
may take a long time. And
right,
so I think even for things like that, like we're not trying to step on ENT's scope. We're just
right,
trying to provide better, quicker service to patients. But
exactly,
we don't want to read we don't want to do the surgery. We don't want to read
right,
the
right.
results. We just
We
want to,
refer on when there's a
yes.
problem. Yeah,
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 interesting.
yeah, yeah.
Okay,
So
well,
thanks for letting
thank
me
you.
share about ADA. It was
Yeah,
great. It was great.
thank you.
Thanks,
All right,
Rob.
thanks. We'll see you next time on the Sound Sisters.